a short Trumptonshire folk tale, read to you by Mr. Nanders. In the middle of Trumptonshire County there is a small forest called Trumpers Wood. In the middle of the wood there's an oak tree, not much more than a stump now. It is very old, with sparse branches and very few leaves. But on top of this tree, on a blunt branch that points to the sky, there is a weather vane made from brass. It is ornate and elaborate, but it is dulled with age and tarnished by the elements. It features the silhouette of a man in a large-brimmed hat carrying a laden sack. Some say the weather vane was created 200 years ago by an artisan who lived in a shack in a cliff alcove that is now Camberwick clay pits. Indeed, the alcove still exists, and there are remnants of a wooden structure that could well be the artisan's abode. The silhouetted man with the hat and sack is rumoured to be none other than Jebediah Miller, the great-grandfather of Windy Miller and a man of fine standing in the county of Trumptonshire. But that is merely conjecture, although it is interesting to note that when the wind blows south-westerly and the weather vane turns to point directly towards Colley's Mill, the shadow cast by the sun onto the ground beneath curiously forms the perfectly scripted letters J and M. Another note of curiosity is the sack that the figure is carrying. It is hollow and features a small, hinged lid which is fastened by a tiny lock. Folk tales and legends speculate about what the sack contains. Maybe treasure, jewels, or a folded parchment message or map? Could it contain a recipe for alchemy, or perhaps an elixir of life? Or maybe it contains nothing at all. It has never been opened, at least not in the last 100 years, and the people of Trumptonshire are keen to leave it that way. Although one final curious fact is that around the delicate neck of Lady de Trump, who famously forms part of the brass duo of automates faithfully striking out the hours of the day from the Trumpton clock, adorns a fine gold chain where hangs a very small, very tarnished key. It hangs freely and is not part of the casting that forms the fine lady's statue. It is not known where the key comes from or what it might open, but the decorative embellishment that forms the key's bow contains the unmistakable letters J and M. Thank you for listening. Remember to follow us on Twitter and maybe subscribe to our YouTube channel.